wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Yes, Locky.
What, mate?
How are we? You all right?
Good. Yeah, me and as Andy said, my beef curtains are doing pretty good. I can't lie.
These curtains, brutal. Bringing them back. My brother used to have curtains, so they're coming back out the Locky. There's no doubt about it.
While I can do it, I'm going to do it.
100%, man. You got a lovely head of hair. You've got to make most of it while it's there.
Exactly. It is in my. Yeah, they do need a cut. Though, Andy's right. They do need a bit of a trim, but don't worry about charity game. We'll be ready for that, won't we?
Yeah, you up for that? Joe's first pick, wasn't he? He got quite the introduction. To be fair, it was good.
Yeah, I didn't influence that by telling him.
You took my 11. I love 11, and then I
11.
Yeah, I wanted 11, but to be fair, I didn't even know there were a form to fill out, so I was well behind with it.
Is that your number as well then?
No, I'm 69. I put 11 or 69 as a bit of a joke, and then obviously you got 11, so I ended up with 69. So
do you usually have 11?
11, or I don't like 9. I've never liked 9. Don't like 7. I've always liked 11, 8. Quite like 4, but I'm not really that sort of a player. They're my numbers really, 11 and 8. What are you? I'm 10. I like 10.
11's mine. Always has been, mate.
Yeah.
Always been 11. 10's always a good one, innit? No, everyone likes a 10.
It looks good 10 though, doesn't it? I always think it's
the number
really
10
nice and round in it and finished. I liked it when. Go on.
So you always got to be all right if someone wearing number 10.
There's a lot of pressure on. I liked it when AC Milan team started doing all double-digit numbers. I always thought that was quite like iconic. I can't remember what era that was, but it must be about 10 years ago when they were all like 99 and 88 and stuff. I always thought that was quite good.
Yeah, I remember that just reminded me of something totally off topic. Remember Alexander Pato?
Yeah.
Remember him? Oh, I used to love him, man. Growing up.
A
little bit until he fell off the face of the earth. But
I know, actually, funny enough, I saw a compilation on him the other day saying like, "Oh, where did he go?" or whatever. But I think that just some of them get so like over-egged, don't they? Because he was still mint.
Yeah.
Still like some of his goal highlights and stuff is insane. They just don't quite reach what you think that they're not Messi, are they? That's the thing.
Yeah. 17 years old he was, wasn't he, when he scoffed. We took it from kickoff and ran past him.
Yeah. He was rapid, wasn't he, as well? Fast and like mint name as well, which always helps. Pato's a good name, isn't it?
Great name. Alexander. Middle name, actually.
You what?
Middle name, Alexander.
I thought you meant Pato. Thought that is. I'll mince that.
That would be cool. Might call the kid it.
Pato. Is there a reason for 11, Locky? I wonder, is it a player or alt?
I don't know, I don't think so. Do you know this is quite cringe? I think Neymar wore it at Barca, didn't he? And I love Neymar. I know that's a bit cringe, but Barca Neymar was my idol, man. I loved him. Oh, what a player he was. So good. He shouldn't have left, but he was so good. He was so good. Yeah, apart from that, my favourite players growing up were Messi, a lot of Barcelona. Ronaldinho was the original, though. And Alan Smith. I know it's a bit of a thing in here now, but I used to love Alan Smith.
Yeah.
He was the man. Yeah,
it was mint, to be fair. I think it'd be a little bit different now, wouldn't it, with Smith? I mean, I know it was because he went to Man U and stuff, and it's not, it's not the highlight. It's not the best place to go, is it? But I think like when Phillips went to Man City, there were a lot. I think we've got used to it a little bit more now in general football, haven't we? That players don't stay around forever.
Yeah, they'll just go wherever. But now they're not bothered who they played for before. They'll go wherever. Even like Zlatan and all that. They just go to any club, even rivals. They don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Alan Smith. I know it's I know it's a bit odd, isn't it? But I used to watch the Champions League highlights on ITV. I used to watch them with my dad, and just watching Messi, Ronaldinho, like that. That got me into football. That I know it should be a Leeds player. I'm afraid it wasn't. It were Ronaldinho, the first ever player I watched, and I went just the way he smiled as well when he played. Like, this looks fun. I want to do it. And then obviously going to Leeds.
Ronaldinho, that goal against, I think it's Chelsea, isn't it? And he's like divoting on edge of box, and he like toe pokes it from edge of box. I know into toe, but it's like outside of boot, but that's where he gets all power from. Amazing.
The thing about him as well, he didn't train, man.
Did he not?
Turn
No.
up drunk, late. He didn't train, and managers just allowed it because they knew that were his way. He'd just turn up and say he's great. Imagine that these days. Oh yeah, he's not been training, but he'll turn up. You know
Don't
what I
worry.
mean?
He's been letting his hair down in other ways. He's been getting on sesh, so he should be all
Yeah.
right from
What a
weekend.
bloke. That's why I love Neymar though, because it's kind of a continuation of Ronaldinho, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, he went to Saudi too early, and then PSG were injured all the time. But that team with Suarez, Neymar, and Messi was.
Well, it's best front three, I think, of my life. That, to be honest, because to be honest, I think Neymar and Suarez, even though they're really well rated, are sort of underrated in a wild way. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Messi was so elite, and like Ronaldinho was unbelievably flashy, and then he had like David Villa and stuff. So there was a huge, an Henry, everybody that sort of they came after, didn't they? But
yeah.
So it's rare that they just had three up top, but them three were like, and they all seemed like they were mates.
People say like Neymar's career never lived up to what he did, but I think he did it so quick and so early at Barca that we could kind of expected it to be a bit longer, but it weren't. I accept that, but he still had an unbelievable career. The amount of goals and assists he's got in his career and titles he's won is insane. He fell off a bit too early, didn't he? Too many injuries. I think he lost a bit of motivation as well.
A lot of Brazilians do, don't they? I think they've probably had
true.
it pretty rough, and then they get a lot of money, don't they? And they travel the world, they live in lovely places like Barcelona. They'll be living the high life, won't they? Yeah. Must be hard. I mean, Robinho's mum used to get like kidnapped, didn't she, and stuff, and taken, and that's absolutely wild. It's crazy.
Come from a different world, them. That's why they're all so good. This is literally life and death for them, isn't it? Like, you've got to make it, or they'll be in a gang, or like poverty. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. That's why the touch is good, though. But jokes aside, but on beach, playing beach football, it'd be like, ball's got to be in air, hasn't it? Like,
they're insane at that.
It's the only way to touch it. Like, you'd see them knocking ball about on beach and stuff, even like just general people like me and you, and they're like, unbelievable. The touch is outrageous.
Yeah, just some random bloke that's like 40 odd, and he's
just a big belly.
Doing
got all
shots on, yeah.
It's absolutely insane. It's great, isn't it? But yeah, man, we'll think it's only right we talk a bit about Leeds.
Aye, yeah.
Ming says welcome.
Mate.
He's the only one that worked to not work, live in the USA, US of A. I thought he would. Didn't he get in trouble, Ronaldinho, for going to USA? To be fair, I thought he had a dodgy passport or something, didn't he?
Fake passports.
Yeah, and like all that money and he's got a dodgy passport, but God knows. But yeah, before we go down a dodgy passport run, we'll just do the Farke has obviously just had his press conference. Have you seen it today, Locky? I presume you've seen it.
I did, yeah. Give it a watch.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I mean, I know we've all spoke about Mez, but I'm happy that that's the decision that's been made. Just for us, obviously, and for him, clearly that can't be good for you doing that. I mean, I've seen like people like BBC and Sky Sports talk about it. Like, he'd have seen this, whether they see it, footballers see it. Like, that ain't good for your mind. That. So I'm just happy now that got Darlow in. That he could be terrible. He could be, but
we don't know.
Who knows, honestly. But yeah, right decision made finally. Yeah, I liked it at the end. I know people are controversial about what he said. A little speech at the end about when he played Bielsa's Leeds, and he said he don't know how they didn't win the league. He said maybe it's the stress, the mentality. So he wanted to bring that calmness to Ellen Road. I kind of like that. And he tripled down on his, we're going to go to the Premier League. It's bold, but he believes it. And we need confidence right now as a team, I think. And I think he's showing that.
I'm up for him saying it, Locky. I just think we all know that what the repercussions are if we don't go up this season for him.
Yeah.
So just get it said and just own it, really, because he's out the door anyway if we don't do it. The only thing I like how he went back on it, because he sort of mentioned the playoffs at the start, didn't he? But as he went on, he went, I don't want to talk about the playoffs, and I thought I'm glad he did say that, because at one point I thought he was sort of suggesting we might end up in playoffs, and I thought that isn't the right thing to say. But in terms of going up, I think he's right to say 100%. And why not? If everybody said all year that we're best team and stuff, then we just got to go and prove we are the best team, haven't we?
He's confident, and I think you've got to be careful, because obviously you can be confident, but you can be arrogant. I think the confidence now is great, but if we go to Luton and put in a stinker, you're asking him, well, where's this confidence? Why are you saying this when the team's not putting it in? I hope that the messaging is good, the team's up for it, and now this blip we've had is gone, and we can just go out there and just do what we've been asking as fans. Like, we're never going to tell them how to be better footballers, are we? But we know the club, we know what we've seen it, we know what these players need to do from a kind of mentality and aggressive perspective, because we're the fans of the club, we are Leeds United. So hopefully they'll do that, mate. Honestly, I know I said this on Joe's, but I honestly think I don't think football's going to win us this league. I think it's that other side of football that's going to win us it. You know, the mental side, the aggression, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I saw your last video, Locky, where you were going in on that, weren't you? Really, which I thought were mint. To be fair, proper mint.
Got a bit into that, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's true, isn't it? It's like, at some point you've just got to be. You said it other day. I thought it was a mint line about just you got to take it personal, like the player that you're playing against, and just go and just do that guy the whole game. Yeah. We just have to match teams at this point. Just that'll be how we get over the line. We've got enough individual brilliance, like individual quality. We just need to match teams for. And it's easy to upset sides, isn't it, and stuff, and teams are coming to try and do that to us, and we've just got to be, 100% that way as well, that way out.
It's going to be for any team we play against in this league, it's a long day when you've got our talent, right, that's good, but when you turn up and you match their intensity with our talent, any team's going to think, oh no, we've got this Leeds United now. Do you know what I mean? But when we turn up with our talent, but we're not matching the intensity, they won't mind that. They'll go, right, we can beat them here, we can get at them. It's the intensity in it. It needs it. It's the end of the season. You need intensity. It's so important. And I know I went on a bit of a rant on my video, but it is important that these players understand what club they play for. I know it's quite a tribal thing in it, but it is. We as a fan base need that. We need that energy. We need that intensity. Some clubs love out and out passing football. We like that, but we need intensity. It's in our DNA, isn't it? I think really as a club, it's a huge part of who we are. Yeah,
we're not willing to certainly at Ellen Road. It's like when it drops below a level of what we deem as effort, you can be playing as much football as you want, but if it's not getting sort of put about a bit, and I don't just mean in like big silly tackles and that. It's just you said in your video as well, like just getting up for stuff and like just signaling to the crowd a little bit, which they don't really do. I want it to be like, I don't care if we're over the top about winning corners and and celebrating tackle, like jumping up and shouting at the nearest bloke in the crowd to you and stuff. It's that serious now, isn't it? That's what we need now. It's not middle of the season where you think, oh, come on, mate, there's a long way to go here. It's like we're in the 7 final games, where if we win them all, we go up guaranteed. So
yeah, it is that, and obviously I take it back to the Bielsa team just for the specific reason of they were talented. I think we underestimate. I think we kind of say they're a lot of League One, but I don't think we had some very good players there. Yeah. Obviously got brought out of the shell and made extremely fit by Bielsa, but they were pretty decent. But their levels were upped because they had that, Mateus click. How many moments of the season do we love from him just for being an ass? Alioski weren't the best player, but he was proper up for it every single minute, wasn't he? Even Bamford riled the opposition every week. So you want about Patrick Bamford, but then defenders hated him. You had Calvin Phillips in the middle who would just snap someone and he'd get up and he wouldn't help him up. He wouldn't speak to him. He'd walk off. You know what I mean? And that's for me anyway. The Bielsa era was a lot, but I absolutely love that side of it. I don't know about you. I love that bit.
Yeah, it's smart. 100%. I mean, Click was my favourite player. The thing is about players like Click as well, like they're all, we've spoke about this on Joe's quite a bit, but they're all technically brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
Every single championship player is technically excellent. I know you get the odd 8-foot bloke at centre-back who's probably centre-back because he's 8 foot, but even he's half decent on ball. He's got a good first touch, and so you're not going to expose them. So when they're fully committed, like we keep saying, and when you're running at 100% like the Waffa Bielsa constantly, it elevates the level. Alioski had some brilliant moments in him. Like proper quality, didn't he? He's brilliant left foot, and if you wanted it to land somebody on edge of box on a volley or something, Alioski were your man, wasn't he? But not the best footballer going. But when you're at 100% and your confidence is flying, that's all Bielsa was, wasn't he? And I don't think Bielsa's particularly sent him out to be shithouses or nasty or whatever. It's sort of part of playing that level of football, that intense football that we played under Bielsa. It sort of spills out into that, doesn't it?
Yeah, he made them know exactly what Leeds United was, and he got it really quick. As soon as he came in, he kind of knew straight away what this club is, and he made them players understand it. And it helps when you have Calvin Phillips, Cooper, players like that who had been at the club, who knew it. That's what we lack right now, I think. We have Byram, obviously, but we don't really have them leaders who have been here who know exactly what the club is. Byram went away for a long time, didn't he? Whereas we had them there, and we do miss that. So we're kind of relying on the Strauchs, even the Mesliers, the players that have been here for a little bit. But back then we had players who'd come through the academy and they knew the club, and that's what it was. I think the identity with the fans in that era was so strong with them players. Until we started losing every week in the Prem, but then half of them left, and we brought in some people that didn't care. Let's be honest, they didn't really care, did they? They just wanted to get that Prem appearances in. But that's what I say. And with these lot, like the mint footballers, they seem like really good lads as well. They seem like really nice people. But I just want them to be a little bit more Leedsy. Do you know what I mean? Not in the bottle it Leedsy way. I mean the aggression, heart, just stuff like that. I know that's just me though. Everyone's different.
I know what you mean. It's an intimidating ground, and everybody bangs on about Ellen Road being this pit and this. Everybody likes going there and playing because it's obviously everybody wants the mint atmospheres, but it's an aggressive place, isn't it? Dirty Leeds. Yeah. But it is. It don't come out of nowhere. It is sort of inbuilt in us. The thing is with Bielsa, he brought that intensity, and then the players had been there when we were a bit shit as well. Yeah. So it was sort of like they were a hangover from us being poor, and then they all thought this is like we're the best team in the league all of a sudden, and it was the same set of lads really. But I mean, Bielsa were different gravy, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, there was one thing actually in the first season under Bielsa. I can't remember if it was from the documentary or not, but there's a scene where is it Maloney for Derby, their left back. This is when we went in at half time and we just conceded that goal, and confidence went, and then suddenly the ground were quiet. He's walking down the tunnel, and Calvin Phillips is stood next to him with his head down. And Maloney he shouts, he says, "Oh, they're going to bottle it now. Their heads have gone." And Phillips says nothing, just his head down. And it's like, that's what this club can do to you. And that's Calvin Phillips. Yeah. And I feel like last year, a lot of these players went through that moment. So that's why I'm hoping that now we've got the mentality and the kind of heart where don't let that happen. That's what Farke said. He said, I think not this press, but another one. He said, take what you went through last year. Do you seriously want to go through that again? Talking to Ampadu, Rodon, the lads that were here last year. Do you really want to go through that? Losing in a playoff final. It's the worst thing. Don't let that happen. Take some pride. Don't let that happen. You know what I mean? That's the message now, I think. Because we all know they're good enough. It's now do it. You know what I mean? Do it now. Don't do that feeling again. I can't deal with that again, honestly.
No, it's in their hands. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's totally up to them now. That's why I don't even care what Farke does at this point. And I know people have a go at me for this with Farke, and I'm going to get your thoughts on Farke in a minute, Locky, but I get told off all the time for just blindly backing Farke, and I don't. My point is for the next 7 games is he has got us into this position. You said in your video the other day, which I thought were mint, for 2 years we've been, bar a blip, been excellent under Farke. So Farke's got us here. At some point, you have to just say, these lads have now got to go get the job done. He's put us in good positions twice now. There's only so much he can do before you go, it can't be Farke at this point. I know we can talk about Mez and the individual mistakes and stuff, and I know he's thrown some points away, but he's pulled him out of the firing line now, with, as you say, with Darlow. We don't know what we're getting particularly, but it can't, as long as he can catch a ball, or punch a ball from a corner, it can't be much worse.
That's all we ask.
It is, though, isn't it? I mean, we joked the other day on Joe's. let the penalty in and catch the corner. Do you know what I mean? Just that'll do me. You don't have to do the world class stuff. You don't have to be on for man at match. Just don't let the ball bounce past you and go in. Catch the ball from a corner and tip it over the bar if you can. And then if you can do that, we're on summit. Because I got loads of Locky. I got loads of stick for that second goal. I'm not really blaming Mez. My point with that is it's not. But I'll take that one. It's like, oh, whatever. It's a shot. He struck it quite well. He's tried to get down. He's not. Should have saved it, but he's not saved it. These things happen. We should have never been in that position when we were 2-1 up. It shouldn't have been 2-1. Now the corner is. You just cannot. You can't excuse that. I'm not even trying to excuse it.
It's bad, isn't it? Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. There's no one on him. It's not even that excuse of I was fouled. No one there.
No. He must just want World to swallow him up there, in fairness.
Yeah. Here crowd next year as well. I tell you, F off and all that.
And what do you reckon he does next year, Lock?
With what, with Mez?
Yeah, just what do you think Mez does? Do you think he stays or
no? I think he should leave for him. Obviously for us as well. I think I'll never take away what he's done. I think the final when we went up, when he came into the team at the end, I thought it was excellent. I think the first season in the Prem as well, he had ups and downs, but he was proper young then. First season in the Prem, I think he had some really good moments. He kept in a lot of games. He made some big saves. He still looked decent. And then after that year where it was bad, I think he's recovered. He got absolutely battered every single game. And I think at the end of the season, he probably wanted to leave. He didn't want to come back to the Championship. He was still talked about quite highly in like France and stuff back then. He stayed in the Championship. I just feel he's not the player he was. And that happens. Like we talked about Pato, that happens to young players. They go through this. He's like still so young in the sense that he still could have 4 or 5 bad years and still be 29 and still be in his prime. So I think for him, if we go up even anywhere, I just think it's probably best to leave it at that. If we go up, he's got another, Championship medal, another promotion on his books, made a lot of appearances for the club, which is meant for a young goalkeeper as well. So big up him for that. But I think the natural thing now is to find someone new. And, I'm not as critical as most because I can get quite sent, like you said, I wonder what he feels like in that moment. It must be horrible. But yeah, I don't know about you, Jack, but I think probably just move on and just new slate, new keeper, for him as well, new career, new team.
Yeah, I think it's broken for him, really. If I had to, I don't like saying that, genuinely don't, because it's a shame, but it's probably, like you say, it's better for him. And I'm not trying to be a lovely guy and say, get yourself off Mez and go, mate. But if he does start again somewhere else, I still think he's a decent keeper. Mistakes happen, and I know he's made loads of them this season, so they're really highlighted. And I always bang on about De Gea, but he was dropping clangers all over the shop when he first went to Man U, and he ended up being amazing for him. So I know it wasn't perhaps to the level that Mez has been at this year, because Mez has been, and it's been big moments, haven't there? They're not ones that you can forget about. That's the problem. It's like when we've needed him, it's like, oh, they're the big ones.
Yeah,
we'll see. But what do you actually think? What are your thoughts on Farke generally, Locky? Like, as I know because you know a lot more about we speak a lot obviously about the 10 and stuff and his the role that he likes and stuff. I just wondered what your thoughts on him tactically and just in general, like as a manager.
See, this is it. Like usually on these shows, like when we're on Joe's and stuff like that, it's always about for Leeds. But generally, like me as a person, I'm not actually the biggest fan of his style of football. It's not my favorite one to watch or anything like that. I respect it and I understand that at this level, it's very good if you have the players for it, and we've seen that, and it wins games. But as a fan, watching a game of football, I love end-to-end, like high counter-attacking football. I mean, like Nottingham Forest are doing now. I absolutely love that style. That's my style, So, and this is it. This is what is interesting. I have no kind of emotional connection or need for Daniel Farke to stay at Leeds, in the sense that if he leaves, I'll be like, thank you, but I'm not emotional. I'm not that bothered, you know, because unlike Bielsa, there's not that connection there. So when people say, you know, obviously not big player, but you know, on Joe's chat, it's a bit wild sometimes. When people say, "Oh, you Farke this, Farke that," I have no reason to be that. Which I don't. You know, he is a good manager for me, and he's done a really, really good job. And I hope he gets us promoted. But I know for a fact the day he goes, it'll be like a thank you very much. You did mint things, had a good time with you, but I'm all right. And who's next? So as a manager at Leeds right now, I think he's done a fantastic job. And I think the way he brings, especially when he first came in, when we really needed that calmness, that controlling head, he was excellent the first few months. So when he came in, he really good. And even the start of this season was a bit hectic as well, wasn't it, with all the stuff going on? The players leaving last minute. I think he did it really well. But then you've got to look at the results as well. And for the most part, they've been outstanding. Like they have. But I also appreciate people don't like the way he does subs, which again, that's personal preference. I've always been one of these, and I'm not saying it because it's Farke. I've been consistent with it. I'm not that arsed about subs. I never really am. I believe in the 11. The 11 should do the job, and then subs should come on to defend what you've already got, if that makes sense. I don't really like game changers as subs. It's a bit kind of like you failed plan one. Do you know what I mean? And you have to look at subs then. You put them 11 out to win the game, realistically. So that never really bothered me. I understand like the other side of it where I don't think there's a huge connection with the fans based on the way we play. And I understand that. But that's personal preference. I think people that call him a poor coach I'd love to see a reason why. Because I've still not, all season I've seen he's tactically inept, and I've not seen one reason why he's tactically inept. Subs is not tactics. That's rotations. That's when you bring players on. You know, tactically we're outstanding for the most of the season. We dominate teams. We create loads of chances. We concede hardly anything. Bar some goalkeeping mistakes, we'd probably be 5-6 points clear at the top of the league. What can he? The question is though, Jack, I will agree with people. Can he motivate these players in this moment now? That's the question, because he didn't do it last year at the end, and now we're in a struggle. Can he be the motivator to get him out of it? That's one thing I'm waiting to see, I think. Sorry, that was a bit of a long
no, it was awesome answer, Locky. It was awesome, honestly, dude. I wanted you to do a monologue there because that's awesome. Because to be fair, on that with Farke, the football doesn't really, it don't back up the motivational thing, does it? You can't really, you can't send them out flying necessarily, can you? Do you know what I mean? I know they can be, they need to be more about it, even no matter what type of football you play. But in terms of, it's not always that obvious how we go and win games. Really, we just sort of.
Is that your favourite style, Jack? Ideally, as a manager?
No.
When you're watching football, no?
No. Nowhere near, no.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing with most fans. They like it because we're winning, but it's not unbelievably exciting. And we like excitement. And
I like him. I like him as a guy. I think, and he gets no credit for, like you said a minute ago, like how much he's calmed it down, and you know he's actually weathered a couple of storms with us and stuff, and he never bites, he never gets radgy, and that's what I mean. I mean, it shows because then he says, "Oh, we're 100% going up," and it's all over Twitter that he's cracked. He hasn't cracked, has he? The bloke doesn't crack. To be fair, he's a proper chilled out.
To me.
Yeah. He's not cracking, honestly. You know, he's trying to get us up. That's all it is, and he's calling the players out a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be interesting next few. I mean, what do you reckon to Luton going in Saturday? Do you reckon it'll just be Mez swapped, Locky, or do you reckon there'll be Nonto? Or
I think we see Nonto, mate. I do. I was thinking of this earlier. You know, yeah, I think it'll be Nonto just because if we're doing it fairly, he's come on twice now in a row and he's looked pretty decent, hasn't he? He looked like he wanted it. He looked confident, and I think that's what we need. You know, all the stuff we said about players looking down and not bothered, he's looked the opposite of that. He's come on with energy, and we need that. So I will be disappointed if Nonto starts. I'm not going to destroy the world like when you know, it's not my team that I wanted, so I'm going to go crazy on Twitter before. Just chill out, it's fine. But I'll be a bit disappointed if Nonto's not on the pitch. But I'm thinking this, like, sorry, it's a bit off topic, but all the players right now, remember the Pablo Hernandez moment for Swansea? If we go up this year, who do you think or want to have that moment?
Bamford.
You'd say that, yeah. One game he'll play, and he'll score in it, yeah.
I won't. I actually mean that as well. I know it's funny as well, but it'd just be. I just love doing that video. I think, the video afterwards where I'm like, I fucking told you. I told you Bamford would provide something to end the season. But in all seriousness, I mean, I'd happily let it be Bamford.
Yeah.
I think Peru's going to have a couple of big moments for us, and I think if he don't, we're not going up. So I think we're becoming reliant on a couple of big chances that he takes in, and maybe a sticky game or just a really well taken goal. That because we've missed that from him a little bit, haven't we? Where he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not had many chances,
Yeah.
But when he's driving them home, he lashes them in, doesn't he?
Yeah. He were unlucky with that goal, that perfectly onside goal. If that had counted, that they looked unreal, wasn't it? What a finish!
Yeah.
He did his men in box, took him on, put him on his backside, megged him, and then chip keeper. Unreal finish that. But
yeah.
Pero's one for me. I think he's had a quiet spell. He's on, I think it's 6 games without a goal, which is his joint longest. He had another period at the start of the season with that. So I don't think I think now's the time. You don't go on many periods where you don't score goals on Pero. So yeah, I think we're going to see a big end. I hope, like you said, we have to, I think, because he's our main man. He's our goal scorer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a big end from Pero. I don't know. I've got a feeling Rothwell's going to have a moment, A strike from edge of box. He's just going to hit one, and it's going to go in. It's going to win like 1-0 against Stoke when Sheffield United and Burnley have drew. And it goes in. I'd love it for Rothwell. I know he had the assist, didn't he, for the Strout goal, but that Strout took all the attention off them. I want Rothwell to have a proper moment. So he might not be here next year as well, and it'd just be mint, wouldn't it? Because he's had a class season. If he could just have one moment that takes us up or puts us in that direction, that'd be mint.
Yeah, I think he deserves it really, because I mean he got a couple of mint goals, didn't he, last season for Southampton or whatever, didn't he? Like a couple of belters. He only scores mint goals, I think, by the looks of it, doesn't it? Yeah. But you do need that. Like Tanaka did that. I can never remember who that goal's against, but we were sort of up against it a little bit with that, and that I think it was his first goal for us. Just edge it box and just lashes it in. It's like there's been a few moments that I can think back through and thought that's why we're going to win the championship. And I know it's cliche moments like that, but and then when I don't want to go back over Mez, but then Mez does that at weekend, and you think, oh well, this is what people that throw it away do. Do you know what I mean? We've had quite a lot of both, haven't we, all season? Really,
it's horrible.
It's championship football as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's grim, innit? It's grim, but. See what people said in the chat. Byron would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Byron would be mint, to be fair.
Byron just comes in with a little delicate header in a corner or something like that to send Leeds back to Prem. That'd be a great story. That's a good one, actually. Even like Mateo, I'd love that for him.
Yeah,
he's had a difficult season. If he just came up near end of the season with just a tap in, I don't care. Celebration, be mint. I'd love that, a little moment for Mateo. Be quality.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm just on the selection as well on Saturday, Locky, because if we go with Nonto, I actually trust Nonto. I think Nonto's. I wanted to ask you about this in general, but because there's the team mentality into like getting us up into Premier League and doing it for the fans and stuff, and then this is so obvious, but I don't even get the impression they're doing it for the self. It's like if you're not going to match teams as a team, like individually, we need to match them evidently, but Nonto is probably selfish enough. I don't mean as a guy. I just mean he comes onto the pitch to be the best version of himself all the time. That's the one thing I will 100% give him. And I don't feel like there's enough players trying to get themselves to the Premier League. That's how I feel with us. I feel like we're looking around, looking for leaders and looking for someone to do something for us. Yeah. And it's like, and I've worried about Solomon a bit past couple of games. I've just thought he's not been like a killer. Do you know what I mean? It's like, is there everything riding on this for you? And I love Solomon.
That's what he's missing from his game right now, isn't it? That killer instinct. Yeah. I'm not sure he's got that, to be honest. I know he's 26 now. I think he's a neat footballer. He's very technical, and there was a period this season where he was unplayable. But yeah, has he got that dig deep killer mentality? I'm not too sure. I think it's kind of shown in his career. He's had a lot of injuries and stuff, and he's always been decent. But has he ever really had them huge moments in games? I'm not quite sure. But Nonto, as you said, I think is that guy. He's got the opposite to Solomon. He's not as consistent. He doesn't really have that consistent flow to his game, but he has got them moments in him. And you're right. When he comes on pitch, he wants to be the guy that scores a goal to win. He wants that opportunity. He wants the ball to fall to him. You don't want to pass it to someone. No. He wants it. And I love that. It can get frustrating at times when he don't give it in. He's trying to score that goal. But right now, where we are in the season, Nanto's like, just watching him, he's playing with energy. He does want it, I think. I think he knows if we don't go up, he'll struggle to get a Prem move again, and he needs that Prem move done. He's been wanting it for the last 2 years. So
yeah.
He really wants to get us out. And look, if that's his motivation, fine by me, because that's good for Leeds United. And I like him, man. He's frustrating, Nanto. He's a weird guy, because some weeks he'll come off and he'll ignore the manager or knock the manager, and then some weeks you see him, his smile and his celebration. I think he's young in it. We always forget how young he is. He's still learning himself, and it's a lot of pressure on him. But yeah, Nanto's the man right now for me. I think he looks up for it, and we need that, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, the things that I've moaned about Nanto previously, the past couple of years, him whinging a bit and, getting booked for no reason and stuff. It's like, well, I'm sort of desperate to watch a bit of that now. A bit of someone just like a bit petulant, or just a little bit of like different energy. Nice. Yeah, just all like, just do something wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like do something just out of the ordinary, or we just feel really like Farke, like methodical, and it just
do your job, keep doing your job, keep doing your job,
and it'll come right. And it's like, I feel like that's verging on a bit of a gamble, really, because it doesn't have to come right.
Sorry, it's like, again, talking Solomon and Dan James. There's so many times in game of the day, the 1v1 with a man, and they stop and pass it back, or they slow down. Just do him. Just go around him, man. That's what, obviously, you were a wing as well, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your man on, don't you? If you're 1v1, you don't. That's where it's personal. That's where it's like, right, you're not stopping me here. There's just this idea of stopping, going back, which I get.
It's hesitant.
But when it's there, take him on, man.
I don't think anybody has a go at you, and I said this to you the other day, but nobody on the pitch really think, because everybody knows that's what you're going to go try and do the fullback. I don't think anybody really has a go at you. If you push it past him and it doesn't happen, I don't think the team, it doesn't wind anybody up. Like, you just think, well, you've tried to beat your man, you've not beat him. If you do it 10 times and you beat him 4 times, we'll probably get a chance out of this. We'll probably you'll create something out of it or whatever. And like, with how fast James and Solomon are, I mean, James does push it past them a bit more than Solomon, I'd say. But there's times when Solomon could really catch him on break. And I know some of them were amazing for us, but some of them just went, didn't he? He just off. It was like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm off down, like, and just, and it was terrifying. It were awesome to watch him set off. And Solomon's a fast lad, Yeah. I wonder whether he's looking after himself a little bit.
Yeah, it's you know what, to be fair to him, and this is where people are right in the criticism. This is where the manager needs to notice this and change him. This is the most he's played in years, probably, honestly, 3 or 4 years. He's not played this many games and this many minutes in absolute years. So he's probably maybe a bit nervous, feeling it, feels a bit dodgy. His muscles are a bit achy, not used to it. Like you said, it's not had this many games. But again, if that's the case, that's where the change used to come in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But because his levels have dropped since about a month ago, where he wasn't playable. Let's be honest. There was a period he was getting goal and assists all the time. It was excellent. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's down to like him? I don't know. What do you think?
I think genuinely, I think it's I mean, it's total speculation. Obviously, everything that I ever say is, but I do think I've been, even at the shit level, extremely injury prone myself, and like, I can feel myself being a little bit, and it's such a dynamic position. You can't get away with it. You know, like if you're centre back and you're riding out,
innit?
yeah, you're off all the
sprints,
time,
yeah.
and you don't know. It might be like 5 in 2 minutes. You might do 5
Yeah.
serious sprints and then not run really for, you know, just sort of keeping your position. And for 15, 20 minutes, you're not doing all. And then it's over your side again, and you're off, and you're off, and you're off. It's like, and when the manager encourages you, he doesn't have a go when you just sort of cutting back and playing it inside and stuff. I don't know. It might be really unfair of him. That it might just be because he seems like quite an unselfish player anyway. It doesn't seem like, you know, he's different to Somerville in that sense. I'm not trying to compare him with Somerville. I just think he's got that pace and he can definitely beat his man. Nobody's
this
like
is
him.
it. Like, I know he's had his injury problems, but right now, I know he's older, obviously, as well. But if comparing him to Somerville, he's played at a better level.
Yeah.
Somerville's hardly played in the Prem. He's hardly had any minutes. I know he's injured now, but he weren't for the first half of the season. So he's got that quality. When he was fit, he played, did Solomon. And that's the thing. Like, he has that there. We've been in, I think it was 2 years that he hardly played, which is a long time.
Yeah, it is
crazy. Like, that will affect you. There'll be a period, like when he started the season, he was poor because of that. I think he had no match sharpness. He weren't confident in himself. But then suddenly he were, and he looked mint. And he was just missing that final bit where he'd cut in, and you're thinking, hit it, and he passed it. You're thinking, that's old Solomon there. Confident Solomon would hit that and wrap it in top corner. But now I think he's gone past that a little bit, and it's getting to the point where he's played a lot of minutes and his body's feeling a bit odd, like you said, and he's not too sure. So maybe he does get a rest because of that, which I'll be happy for, because I want to see him these last few games be fully fit and ready.
Yeah, and we'd be better off, you know, taking him out. I think there's if we change him Mez for Darlow, and then if you go Solomon and Nonto, swap them two, I feel like that feels like huge changes without really, you know, the keeper's the keeper. I know it's important, and everybody bangs on about you need the stability at the back and all that stuff. But we have a lot of the ball. We're probably going to dominate the ball at Luton. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're not going to see much of Darlow. But then Nonto being on for Solomon, because it's a big change at the back that everybody's wanted, and then a change going forward. I think it'll feel like Farke has really ripped it up a little bit. So I don't want him to start tearing into the side. I don't want him to mess too much.
You'll assume Tanaka will come in, right? Or do you think he stays with Rothwell in there?
I would personally. Do you think Ampadu stays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on his comments,
yeah. I hope he does. I hope he's ready.
I do as well. You know what? This is. I think the hard thing about Ampadu is Farke wanted him to get fit as quickly as possible, and the best way to get fit is to play.
Yeah.
So he's played him, but I don't think they expected him to die off as quick as he did. I think they probably thought he could have 45 minutes in him, but he only really had about 25, didn't he? And then he started getting leggy. But then we lost the game, so it kind of looks like it was a bad decision. But now, looking going to, we didn't lose the game. We didn't even lose.
I know. There's no
crazy, isn't it?
I know.
I told my dad that the other day, like, we lost, but we didn't. Oh, yeah,
but that's how it feels. I'm leaving ground, like, you know, it's like being battered. That we scored 2 goals. You know, there was some
it's a crap point. We should have won it, but
yeah,
he still thinks like we lost. You know, it's weird. But then now, though, because of that, he has got 60 more minutes, which is massive. He might be more ready now. If we'd arrested him at Swansea, we probably might have won the game, potentially. But we don't know the state of Gruev and Tanaka, would just come back from international duty. That was the issue. And then coming into Luton, if he didn't play at Swansea, he'd be less fit. And this is going to be a physical game as well, really physical. So I think that was his thinking. It didn't work in the end because I thought, after the first, I thought he started really well, actually. I thought he was aggressive and he was winning tackles. He was talking to ref and doing all that stuff. And then he just died down a bit and he got skinned, didn't he? And his legs were not carrying him. And that's when you know. But these are the decisions the man has to make and not me. So
I think Farke probably hoped that the game would have gone better while he was there as well. So, you know, he probably thought, we're at home, get 60 minutes out of Ampadu, 25 minutes of it, the 25 minutes that he was good, he probably thought, we'll hopefully be coasting, really.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being pretty much all about Ampadu and Rothwell in centre mid, didn't it? and so his legs went. He probably did have 45 minutes of Farke ball in him, but unfortunately we were sort of up against it.
End to end, wasn't it?
It was a crazy game, man. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet we're knackered. Even Rothwell, I thought you were all right, but even he were constantly going back and forth. They never really had a position.
No,
they were going boom, boom, boom.
No, it was messy in that middle. It was. They were all over the shop. But yeah, so if Ampadu stays, I'd be up for Tanaka coming in, to be honest. I mean, Matt's just said Gruev and Ampadu, but I won't go Gruev and Ampadu. I don't know about you.
Nah, I understand why Matt's saying that physical game.
Yeah.
Gruev's had a bit of a rest. I understand it, but it's Tanaka in it.
Tanaka's got a bit of both. He can do a bit of both. It's fine.
And he's, I know people think he's been poor recently. I don't think he has. I think he had a poor against Portsmouth. I'm not still seeing that. I didn't bother watching it. I weren't here. Only game I've not seen in 2 years, Jack. The only game. Crazy,
just so happened Tanaka won at it as well.
Yeah.
Your man. I think you have watched it and you've just like erased it out of your mind.
I saw the highlights. But it was a part of a day when he came on. But again, I think Farke said he hardly slept. Got on a plane for 13 hours? Hardly slept.
These players are, I mean, I said in my video the other day, we're not that good. I know we are excellent and the squad is brilliant. And I don't mean that about Tanaka, but I just mean in general, we're talking about, I think you said it on Joe's show, we're talking about these teams that you should just be blowing them away.
Yeah.
And if we're not turning up at 100%, these boys are no joke. Do you know what I mean? And once our aura's sort of gone, hasn't it? Our mystique's sort of fallen a little bit over the past few games. There's no surrender by other teams. They think they go for jugular with it, don't they? They think they can get something, and they are doing.
Like our football has got us where playing our football with the talent we've got has got us where we were about 3 weeks ago. But everyone knew that. They should have known because every single year it's the same. The last 10 games, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's the 10, but it always seems to be the last 10 games is where these teams that are flying suddenly are not flying anymore and they're relying on great passion, all that type of it to get through games. Leicester, who were flying, did exactly the same. Ipswich last year were flying, did exactly the same. They got through it just about. We didn't. That was it. They got through that period. We didn't. That unbelievable run we went on suddenly stopped. Same for Leicester, same for Ipswich. All our runs stopped in the last kind of 10 games. And this is it now. This is what you need for me. It's not really about football anymore. It's about being good, like we can be, obviously, but expect that won't always be the case. And have you got that undertone of just being horrible and winning games that way? Because we need that. It's
what's going to get us over the line. We've been desperate for it. That's why he's rushing Ampadu back. That's what you're saying. And you're on it. If you're not going to give him the minutes, then we're pushing it further down line, aren't we? Like you say, then you go into Luton and we're like, right, are we bringing Ampadu in for this? And he's not had a minute, or he's had 10, 15 minutes off at bench. Because with how that game will go in, he won't really want to be bringing Ampadu on for the last 15 minutes, I mean, we were 1-0 up for a large portion. Well, we're at 60 minutes or something, 1-0 up. I can't honestly, it's a bit of a mushy game, but I must say, I were at Ellen Road and it were horrid in there.
What's it like that? Because I went about 8-9 times last year, but I haven't been able to get tickets in the very fair ticket system. Having applied for honestly, mate, literally every home game I've applied for, I've not got one.
My brother's the same. It's just you're better off just refreshing it day before, just trying to get a seat like anywhere. Like don't even bother with ballot and it's crazy.
That's it. I go with my dad though.
I know. I'm just saying if my brother's just like just does away with it now. It's like it's pointless.
Anyway, but I won't complain about that. I can't remember what I was saying. But I was going to ask actually, what's it been like in there?
I don't mind. Everybody bangs on about the atmosphere not being great and stuff, and we're not up for it or what have you. But I'm not too fussed about that. In this idea that it's a library and all that, I don't really care if we're winning games and stuff. I don't know what you want fans to do. They're not just going to randomly go ballistic when we're winning all the time. Do you know what I mean? And I think the wood in Prem, because you realise, but we spoke about expectation, aren't we, all year?
Yeah.
on Joe's show, to be fair, just about, you know, how the fans are expecting, and I expect to win. So I'm not as like crazily up for it. Normally when I get into the second half, I'm a bit more settled into the game and my head starts to wobble a bit. But it's the turn that we have that I can't do with. So normally we'd go 1-1 and then the fans would turn and it'd get really hostile in there. But we were 1-0 up. And I swear on my life, I'd say to my mate at one point, I was like, we're 1-0 up. And we were like 50 odd minutes in. And I know we were really poor, but the fan base, it was awful in there. The amount of pressure that we must have been piling on, moaning and groaning and jeering, and like, it's like we are 1-0 up. We are currently top of the league. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
That's why is that? Obviously, it's expectation in it, but yeah, it's pressure. We just want to get out of it. I think I do believe, like, if we go up, even if we're not winning as much next year, like you said, we are the underdog in basically every game. And I think the crowd will love that. I think we're a better club like that, aren't we? When we're kind of the underdog, that's where we kind of thrive, I think.
Yeah. Even if you're going for Premier League title as an underdog, do you know what I mean? It's like we'll always be like I'm not saying we're going to be doing that next year, by the way, Locky, but but you know, like when we were in 2001 or whatever it was, when we went on that 10-game run and we were top, but we were still like Leeds, do you know what I mean? Just going for it type of thing. Same in Champions League when we were brilliant. Nobody took us particularly serious, and all of us just turned up like in his droves, didn't we? What do you reckon his chances are in? Let's say we go up, because I'm still convinced we go up. What do you reckon Farke will change a little bit, or do you reckon he'll go with his methodical? Do you think that'll actually do us some favours? Who do you think he'll sign? And I'm asking you a lot there, Locky. Sorry, but
it's a weird one, because just talking about position and stuff first, like, most people in the chat have been saying they'll take 17. Not just the chat, sorry. I mean, not the chat. I mean, like, everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single person I know, apart from maybe a few, are very ambitious, which I love, have said, we'll finish 17th. I'm happy with that. I'm telling you now, if Daniel Farke is still here and we're loitering around 17th in around January, February, most of the fan base will want him out. I'm convinced of it. Even though they all said they'll take it. I think it's going to be one of them seasons. This sounds harsh, but I honestly, unless we do them on like above kind of 14th, 13th, I don't see fan base ever really warming to him, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's going to have to do really well. I'm not saying that's fair or not. I'm just saying just based on the way he plays and the style. I do think he will adjust a little bit. I think we've seen it this year. When we sit deeper, we're actually very good. And when we counter, we're very dangerous. I've got a feeling he'll be more happy to do that next year. So I do think there'll be adjustments. I don't think we'll try and dominate every minute. I think we'll try and control it off the ball a lot more, like good shape. Because we have shown, for the most part of the season, we've been excellent off the ball. It's been really good, apart from maybe the last few weeks. But with some good recruitment, some proper big, tall, strong winners of the ball in the air, good goalkeeper, and really quick plays on the counter, like a number 8 or a number 10 who can just drive with it with quick wingers, you'll do all right. So I do think that's what we'll do more next year. Not all of it. We'll do games where we dominate the ball, but I do think there'll be a element to us where we play more defensive and counter a bit more, because we have seen it a bit, I think, for Leeds in little periods.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I don't think we get much credit for when we have just sat in and actually been just let them have the ball for a little bit. I think it's been like a preparation for Premier League, which obviously I've joked about in some of my videos, but it's like we're not going to have a lot of the ball, and it's like I don't think we get much credit for being quite content, sat not deep, but just sat letting them move ball about a bit, and they end up giving us it back. I can't actually remember the game it was, but they made loads of mistakes at back, and they dominated. They were like 65-70% possession. It were an away game. I think it might have been when Gruev returned. Can't remember the game it was, but they made loads of mistakes at back, and it's like sometimes just let them big goofs have it at back, and
and then
they can't break us down.
You've got Dan James,
yeah,
like deadly in any league. Dan James on a counter is deadly. even Ramazani, even Nonto, not Solomon somewhat, yeah, but he's more on the ball, innit? Like Nonto as well, quick, powerful runner. The only one that really is not really great on a counter is probably Perot because he's not that quick. But say we went up and we signed like a powerful, quick striker. I just think with Tanaka in there and Ampadu, yeah, I'd like us to do that. I'd like Farke to just a little bit, not change fully. You're still going to have your principles. You want to control the game, control the ball, but just realize when teams are better than us on the ball. And then we know, right, can we sit and just set traps and then win it and then boom. That's what I want to see. I think the fans will like that as well. That excitement of counter-attacking and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's a mint form of football, like it really is, because it's fast-paced. I mean, Bielsa really had a bit of that in him himself, didn't he? Where it'd just be break all the time, and everybody goes. I think it'd be a bit more structured than everybody going, but it'll be still like we'll still be piling forward. Do you think the 49ers will back Farke's plan? If he does, with that they because obviously you are in this yourself, Locky. So do you reckon they're already sort of looking at what he would want, or do you think it'd be more of a over the next 5 years, regardless who's in management? Or
it's a good question, actually. This is kind of for my this might be different. It's different every club, clarify. But when I do work, you are looking for players who fit the system of the manager because that's who's the manager. You need to get players he needs. If you're not doing that, for me, you've failed because that's who you've employed. Get what he wants, basically. But you get told if there is anyone that stands out, just do a report on them anyway, and then it's there. Because obviously there's players who you want that are very system based, but that doesn't mean those players won't work in another system. So there might be two players, one who's very Farke system based and probably won't suit another system, but one that's Farke based system, but it's a very good player. He can probably play many systems. You probably go for that player. You might have to pay a little more for that player, but you probably go for it because if Farke does lose his job, the core of the squad, you still got many players that can play in different kind of systems and stuff. And so that's the key for me. It's just about making sure the recruitment team, the head of recruitment, whoever, the owners and the manager are all in line with what's going on. It's very important. I do think they'll back him. I think they have to. Or if they didn't, for example, if they thought Farke wasn't good enough and they want to get someone new in, do that instantly. Don't delay. I'm struggling to do this 10-game thing because in them 10 games, the window's probably just done. You bought all these players for the manager, and then suddenly you get rid of the manager in January. You're going to have to buy loads of new players or hope that these players you brought in work for the new manager that you bring in. So that's when you got to get the balance right for me in terms of system players and just general good players, that work for any manager. So yeah, it is fun though. It is the joy of it, trying to find players that work. It is fun. But they've got to back him. Whoever it is, they've got to back him. This is our chance. It's going to be so hard, Jack. Even if we get recruitment perfect, it still might not be enough because the level between teams going up and the Premier League teams is a joke. I do think they'll spend big though on good quality players. I do. I've got a feeling. I don't know if it'll be 10 or I think it might be around 6, 7, 8. But I think there'll be quality.
What players?
I'm hoping yeah.
Yeah, dear, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, me.
But you think it'll be more or less?
No, I don't think it'll be more. I think I mean it depends. It depends how I think what I mean by that is coming straight into the starting lineup. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people are into it, like, and the reason why I put up against that. I know you're not saying that, Locky, but some people would just say that all 11 need to go, and it's just like I know I'm buying into like the craziness that goes on online with that, but there's like an in between for me where really you want to the core of what we've got, the Tanakas, Ampadu's, Rodon, Struick. I mean, Firpo will probably get moved on, and you probably maybe not want Firpo anyway in Prem. That's a totally different thing. But Bogle stays, doesn't he?
Yeah.
If Mez had had a decent season, I think he'd have stayed. And that's a huge part of the side, isn't it? and we've got some decent wingers. I think Dan James will feature a lot.
Yeah. There's one thing that I always say, and some players step up, some don't. And the ones that you might think might not be good in the Prem might be the ones that step up. Happens every year. And you sign these players with guarantees and they're naff. I think, so first of all, yeah, it's about who's going to step up. Look, Mateo Joseph he might grow, he might get bigger, he might learn, he might come back and be an unbelievable player. You don't, Joel Perot as well. Like, these players might come back different beasts and realize I'm in the Prem now, I'm going to show everyone. And that's mint. But for me, I agree. It's like, I'm not saying 7 or 8 starters. I think if I'm looking at that squad, we 100% need a 10. I think that's instant. I think we 100% need a striker. This is controversial. I think we need a left centre back. I think Pascal needs good competition. And I mean competition that will start over him and he has to make sure that place is his. You know what I mean? I think we need one of them. Midfield, we're very good. But I think midfield, we can maybe get a young lad in there with a lot of potential, you know, a bit of flair, aggressive. Our wingers are good. If we lose Solomon, get a new one in there. But I like James, Nonto, Ramazan is decent. So they're probably the starters, and obviously left back if Firpo leaves as well. And then the rest, 2 or 3 maybe on the bench to bolster the squad. What would you say is the most, say, top 3 you think we should get starters?
10.
It's key, that, isn't it? Yeah.
It really
that'll be the last player we get.
Yeah, and we'll be scrambling around again, won't we? But I mean, the 10. If a 10 don't come in, it does start, because I tried to put the fire out in January with Joe, didn't I, a bit? But if we don't, it's negligent at this point, isn't it?
Terrible, yeah.
If you go up to Prem and there's still not, because I've been saying, and I've managed to get you to back me a bit with it, Locky, saying it's a really hard position to fill, and there's not loads of 10s just floating around, and every teams are looking at the same players, and there's not very rare you get like a Rutter that ends up playing in 10, which wasn't really the idea, and he could do it. But really, there's got to be something, just anything, Yeah. I mean, do you think Aronson will feature much next year on that basis?
Aronson's a weird. I know he's very controversial. He's a weird player for me because I really like him, but he is so frustrating because his positionally, he's ace.
Yeah,
like he's unmarkable. They can't get near him. But then when he's on it, that ball is most of the time it's not good enough. If he just finds spaces more better than most people. Honestly, he's really good at finding little spaces. Yeah, I agree there. But when he gets it, it's just please. I'm saying make that last bit better, because then everything's good. But I'm not sure he'll ever get that. If I'm being brutally honest, I'm not sure he'll get that consistently. I think he's 24, 25 now. That's not old, but I think in that role, I think we kind of know what he is. I think he'll be a good option. I think he'll be a good. His energy.
He's not going to let you down, is he?
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, we need. So he'll feature off the bench, and I'd be happy with that. He might even start a few games, but I think we need a proper good number 10. A proper one that fits Farke's system as well. I think that's important because it is a key role. Because usually anyway, they're midfielders, the number 8s who can also play up front along the striker or drop deep when they need and win battles in midfield. That's usually the role. So we need one of them. Or again, in the Premier League where we're going to get counted on, and yeah, we need a good player in that position for me. It's not easy.
No, what you're saying on Tanaka in 10, because I want to get your thoughts on Tanaka in general as well, Locky, because obviously you found him, which is how did you go about that find? It's a remarkable find. Yeah, I know you watch a lot of Bundesliga and stuff, don't you?
So Bundesliga 2 it's on YouTube. They play a lot, not every game, but 2 or 3 games are on YouTube. So I was doing my uni work and I had it on my other screen, and he was playing Fortuna Dusseldorf. I can't remember who they played. It might have been Hertha Berlin. It's usually Hertha Berlin that are on, or Hamburg, one of the 2. Yeah, and he was playing. That's who's this? And I started to look. And yeah, that's it. Literally, then every time they were on, I watched him. I'd watch the highlights. Sometimes you just look, like, you just catches your eye. And just the way he moves, it just looks so I thought, why is he in this league?
Mm.
And then we were linked with him literally a few weeks later for Leeds.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because I've always thought that of you. Because obviously you were loving it because you said the year before, didn't you? Like, even if we go up, you'd sign Tanaka, and if we stay down, you'd sign Tanaka. It's like, then when we link with him, it's like, it's a wild circumstance, that, innit, or coincidence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, we were linked with him a week and a half later. I was like, oh my God, I was so happy. And in a way, I think he injured his knee or something, even though he was only out for about 3 weeks, which is annoying. I think Leeds thought it would be longer, so they didn't go for it, and they went for Kamara finally instead. Or it might have been Gruev. I think it was Gruev, actually. But yeah, having that injury not happened, he probably would have joined, I'm assuming, because he was the one in the papers. He'd left training and everything, but he picked up an injury. But then the season after, I was convinced he'd go up Bundesliga, or even the Premier League. I was convinced. He's had an excellent season. But then we linked with him again. I've never been so excited in my life, man.
Smile on your face, Locky, even now.
The only player that got me more excited when we signed was Jorginho Rutter. And I say that because, remember lockdown? The first games that I came on TV, I'm pretty sure the Bundesliga, and I had a mate who had a stick at uni. I was in uni accommodation, and he'd stick it on. So, and then Jorginho Rutter Hoffenheim was the first game I watched, and he was just running around taking people on. I went, this guy's mint. And then about a year and a half later, we signed him. I was like, so happy, man. And then obviously he weren't great in the Prem, but that's why I love Rutter so much, because in lockdown, when it was bad, there were no football. He was like, he were on screen and he was just mint. So
yeah, ray of sunshine in it all, isn't it? That's why football transcends, though, doesn't it? It's like, that's why it's just not better than watching Messi just tear it up when he were in his prime. It's like,
these are the players I love, the ones that just entertaining.
Yeah,
I know Tanaka's not entertaining, but the way he plays, it's just nice.
Oh, he is, though. I know what you mean. He's a certain type of footballer. Like you say, you know from first few minutes, where you just think, just how players look after the ball and stuff and take the first touch, and passing just seems elegant and stuff. It's like Federer in tennis. It's just there's something about how you strike him through ball and just doing like, and he didn't. I don't feel like a poser, Tanaka. It's not like it looks like he's just always on it, and he's an unbelievable signing. Do you think? Like,
go on. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, how far? What do you think his ceiling would be? I know it's a bit of guesswork now, but
that's literally what I was going to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look, honestly, I think he could play for any team. I'm not saying he could. I think you could put him in the squad in any team, and he could come on and do a job. I genuinely believe that. Not a starter for obviously the top teams in the world. I'm not deluded. He's obviously not a starter for, Man City, Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich. But I'm looking at like a decent, a Brighton, or even a Forest. I can just see him coming on there, impacting the season. A Fulham, a team like that. I think he could play Champions League. I really do. But I also think he could play for Leeds for a long time as well, and that's what I want. It's just, there's some players, Jack, that just know what they're doing. He's such a smart footballer. He's probably not the quickest. He's not the strongest, but his brain is why he's so good. He knows where everyone is at all times. He scans so much. He's elegant, decision-making, calm. They're the main things for a midfielder in his role, and he's got them. So I hope we get promoted. So I've got a bad feeling about him if we don't. I've just got a feeling, mate. Someone in Bundesliga, someone decent in Bundesliga, like a Stuttgart or something. I can see that a Mainz coming in for him, or like a Brighton or a Fulham.
Yeah, there'll be. He'll have to go, really.
Brentford, yeah. But hey, we're gonna get promoted, so he'll be here for a long time.
Well, and if we do, and we got, there's no reason why we can't become one of them sides in 2-3 years, is it? So, I mean, look at
that's
Villa.
The worst thing, watching Forest, watching Villa.
I
mean, fair play to them. Watching Bournemouth, knowing that a few years ago they were where we were.
And it's just crazy how fine line it is. And I think every club's, I know we get a lot of stick and what have you, but every club's sort of run quite well, really. There's a few that make really big hash ups, don't they? But now it's all, they all know what they're doing, really, don't they? So you're also in that competition, where clubs like Bournemouth and Brighton are run so well.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think we're run well, but everybody is my point. Do you know what I mean? So you're in that competition as well. It's like, well, we're run well, but so is everybody else. It's not like anybody's really going. Everybody sort of knows where they're at, don't they? So
on that, I just want to ask if I can.
Yeah,
Say we go up, because it's genuine. And Joe mentioned this a few weeks ago. Who's finishing below us? Like you look at all the Prem teams, don't you? And you think, are they going to get relegated? Like I know Wolves are not great, but probably not going to get relegated, are they? Like do you know what I mean? It's hard. I don't like thinking about that because then I think we're going straight back down. But yeah,
I think teams will drop off, Locky. I think there's just they have to. Like even your Forest and stuff have just been so unbelievable. It'll only take a few games for them to, really drop off and really be the team. Like Everton will probably get out of it next year. They probably won't be anywhere near it. But I want rid of Everton. Can get out at relegation battle because they always survive. So you don't want them in and around you, do you? You want a few that have gone like Wolves have this year, but unfortunately for Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton, they're so bad that it doesn't matter how poor Wolves have been. But they probably weren't expecting that. You want teams that have sort of stuck in it and think, how have we ended up in a relegation battle here? But they are, aren't they? I think survival has been viewed really harshly this year because the three teams are definitely coming back down. But Leicester didn't get the crack at it that they could have had with all financial whatevers that had gone on. And I don't think Ipswich were ever going to stay up in reality. I know they were good and everybody loved them, and Southampton's just Southampton. They're used to getting relegated out. So
I honestly, Jack, I just don't think they're recruited great. Like, they got good players in, but they all came from speaking about Southampton and Ipswich. Leicester just didn't sign anyone really, did they? But no. Southampton, Ipswich, mainly Championship players. Now, good Championship players, but when you bring in so many Championship players, there's zero guarantee that they'll work in the Prem because the level is a joke. It is. There's so you think of where the Championship and the Prem are, you could probably go to Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Holland, Belgium, probably all between the level of the Championship and the Premier League, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's a huge step up. So bringing in I think they brought in I can't remember how it is, making numbers up. It was about 7 or 8 Championship players. But that's I didn't rate that. I think you're
bringing up a squad of Championship players with a squad of Championship players, aren't you? It's like there's no
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of guessing it out, really.
Do you think we'll you think we'll stay up then if we go up?
Well, it'd be going against everything I've said ever since I started channel if I didn't think we could stay up. Because I just do think we can't. I just believe in us. I can't help it, and that's why I get pelters. But I can't help but believe in Leeds United, and it's why it frustrates me when we don't do well. But
there's so much there, so much potential in there. I know there's criticisms with this ownership, and I get it, but there's no doubt for me, if we get up, that's where this ownership will come to life, in my opinion. Talking about the infrastructure of the club and building Ellen Road, and even there's talk about the tram system in Leeds, which I believe has been rumoured for about 40 years. But there's stuff they've got plans to elevate the club. It's just I just hope we get that chance, because I do believe if we stay up in this might be crazy, but in 7 or 8 years, I do think we can challenge for Europe. I genuinely do. I do. I think we've got the these 49ers, and again, there is criticisms there, but they're winners. They are winners. I mean, look what they built over in America. They are winners. They ain't coming here for a short time. They want to get to the top. I just hope that first kind of year in the Prem, we can just get through it. And honestly, after that, I can see us slowly, not quickly, slowly getting up there. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy, but
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. The club is sat there. It is a sleeping giant. And I know I'm unbelievably biased, but if anybody that doesn't support the club doesn't believe that, is off their head. We are the biggest sleeping giant. We're a one team city, unbelievably supported all around world, or certainly all around Europe. They'll do the best to spread us into America and all the rest of it. We've already got loads of American fans. I get loads of Americans. It's ace. Do you know what I mean? Commenting and stuff. It's brilliant. We do have that pull. And I think being a Yorkshire side helps and stuff. I genuinely do. I think people resonate with that from where they live in their countries, and so they resonate towards us as people, and we're not Londoners. We don't live in.
Rafinha said that, didn't he? I can't remember the quote. I'm not going to try, but I think he said something about realizing what the fans do and where they came from resonated with him and stuff like that. You love to hear stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
Bielsa
your
said
player,
it,
isn't
didn't
it?
he? Bielsa
Yeah,
came
Bielsa.
over and went round Leeds, and he was like, "Oh, it's a bit of me, this," and
Yeah,
it is,
loved
wasn't
it.
it? It was. Bielsa didn't realize. I remember saying something when he did that press conference and when he got the board out and he basically just laughing at Frank Lampard. And I remember just tweeting something like saying he's more Leeds than he even realizes that.
Yeah.
This is everything that defines us, and he's just naturally being like a Leeds man. I mean, that's just like,
I loved as well. He lived above a sweet shop, didn't he?
yeah.
All this money, he didn't care. He always I think it. So he went for a meal. You see this with his wife and kids. They came over, and he still had his Lee tracksuit on.
Yeah.
He was still at work.
And when he got his glasses knocked at Man City win, and then week after he still had them on, and they were like still wonky. Like, go get yourself some more glasses, Bielsa lad. You literally probably walked it round. Yeah.
See what Phil said? Phil A, when he drove past him and said he wanted a lift, he went, "Nah," and he's pissing it down. Just walked it rain, man. He didn't care. I loved him. He were a legend. He were unbelievable. And just we got to 9th. Imagine if we had a good summer. We could have been Villa. Genuinely, we could have been. Would have backed him that summer. We could have been Villa.
I don't know why they didn't really. I know there's all sorts going on, and I think if 49ers had been here, we'd have been. You can't stop Bielsa's way of playing. I don't think. I think that if he had Man City's side, I don't want to maybe go over the top about it, but I think they'd be achieving what Guardiola has, because he's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of. He's a bit of everybody into Guardiola. I mean, he's amazing, but I think if you give him their players, I think they win league. Whether they go on to treble and 100 points and stuff's a different thing. But
yeah, the only problem for me would be not problem from other people's perspective is egos don't really work well with him.
Yeah,
you've got the second you play for him, your ego's gone. You're running.
Yeah,
that's all he cares about. And I think you've seen it now with Uruguay. A lot of the big name players, the Suarez and people like that, they're complaining about him in the press because all he does is running. So if there were no ego in football,
that's very true. Yeah,
it'd be. But I think he said, again, I'm probably making, but I'm pretty sure I saw an article once where he turned down an interview with, I believe, Real Madrid.
While at Leeds,
season we finished 9th. I'm fairly sure someone might mention it in the chat. I'm pretty sure Phil did an article on it or something where we finished 9th and they wanted to approach him and he said no. But again, like you look at the team they went at, they are kind of not top teams, but decent proper teams. You know what I mean? Like Bilbao, proper team and stuff like that. So, Chile international, Argentina didn't really work. And you can probably see why, because they're either a little bit higher up. Leeds were perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Sleeping Giant, honest club. It were honest players. It was perfect. It was.
And we like someone that don't give it big. And do you know what I mean? Bielsa just marched off down tunnel, and he were out of there, and everybody loved his little, what they called equivalisms or whatever they call, like his little weird little things and the bucket and just everything. Honestly, it was the man.
That's what I was saying, Jack, just to be a bit conspiracy theory here. But if we didn't get promoted, right, Uruguay ain't going well. I've got a bad feeling about what's going to happen with Uruguay and Bielsa. Need to get out of Championship, Jack.
Wait, get us out of Championship. And the thing is, this is what I mean about Bielsa. Ball can't be stopped. It's like if he comes back, it's not a case of like going, "Oh, we're living in some sort of," when I get told I'm a sentimental FC or whatever. It ain't that with Bielsa. That's like getting Moyes in, isn't it? And being like, you know what you'll get out of Moyes. I know exactly what we'll get out of Bielsa, and it'll be straight out of Championship, playing the best football you've ever seen.
That's my one. If we bottle this, my one coping, I'm going to every day. I'm looking at news, waiting for Bielsa sacked this Uruguay. I'm going to go right. Here we go. Come on, Leeds.
Do you think he'd come back, Locky? I know we're now really going down it, but
I honestly do. Well, they approached him, didn't they? Angus said on the Square Ball they approached him.
I didn't know that.
Farke. Yeah. They approached him. I guess someone in chat will think it, but they approached him. But he was already on his way to Uruguay. He'd already it was too far down the
You know,
line.
I didn't
But he
know
was
that.
up
That's
for it.
mad.
Yeah. I think someone let me know in chat. I think it was Angus that said on Square Ball in his interview that they did approach him. It might have been a journal, but somewhat 100% they approached him, and but it was already too far down with Uruguay. But he didn't say no. He said, "I'm already with this team." I think his problem was with Victor Orta and Radazani. So yeah, I think he would. 100%. Yeah, he was going to go back to Bilbao, wasn't he? But he lost out because they do like they do a voting system over there about who's the man in charge, and they have different managers or something like
Oh,
that.
do they?
Yeah. Because it's Basque in it, they can't sign players that are not from the Basque region in Bilbao. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, something like I don't know. The president, that's the one. He was going to go back there. He was the man that was going to go back, but the other guy lost, and he brought in the other manager, which I think was Valverde. I can't remember. But yeah, I think it would, mate. Yeah,
Well, it'd
in
be.
England.
I tell you what, because I never met him, never saw him, and I spend a lot of time in Wetherby, and that's obviously where he lived. And I thought I didn't want to go looking for him, but I think if he came back, I'd have to just go, look, man, I have to come and see you. I have to come and touch you, just like put my hands on his shoulders. You know what I mean? Just to feel it, just to feel how it feels.
Great as well. My dad pointed this out. So he gained a lot of weight when he was in Leeds, right? The second he left, he lost it all.
Yeah.
The stress of his job is unrivaled.
Yeah. It's surprising as well. I don't want to keep you too long, Locky. You all right?
It's all right. I'm good, mate.
Like in terms of his legacy and stuff, and we're talking about Bielsa again. I can't help myself and start talking about him. But the legacy, is built in how many years were here? 3.5. Yeah. Oh yes.
Great book.
He was here for 3.5 years or something, wasn't he? And he's left a genuine legacy. That normally takes about 15, 20 years to be built, doesn't it? I know that. I know them days have gone.
It will. I'll be when he came in originally. I was quite different. I'd not gone to uni yet. I was at Sainsbury's working. Big up Sainsbury's. But I weren't in love with football. I was in. I played it. I played it. I didn't coach. I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that tactical. I wasn't bothered. I just played it. I loved it from that perspective. But when he came in, suddenly then I started listening to what he was saying in press conferences, the way his style, it got me interested in that side of it. He's the one that got me into wanting to work in football. And then obviously we saw what happened, and that quick. I just instantly, as soon as it came, and I went, oh, and he's talking about all the tactics, and he's showing all the way we play and the amount of running we do. And remember that one time, not what we did it all the time, but where they ran back and 8 of our players.
Yeah, it's been clipped up loads, that, on it.
I saw that and I went, that is, what other team in the world does that? I couldn't believe it, man. 8 of them just in seconds.
Yeah,
and I thought this guy's special. Yeah, unbelievable legacy. And I honestly, I could be completely deluded here, but I do. But I hope his job at Uruguay. I don't want to lose his job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, but if he did, I think that's got to be the first person. I think it would work with backing and ownership like this. That's ambitious. Yeah, 100%. Imagine Tanaka under him.
No, I couldn't really. To be honest.
Even Ampadu, mate. Oh.
You don't, and that is when, and I'm going over the top now. But that's when, because he did get. Phillips never played better football under him and stuff. And can you imagine what he could do with players like Ampadu, of literally borderline getting towards prime of his life? Ampadu would be bang up for it. He'd love it, wouldn't he? Ampadu with Bielsa in there. Tanaka, same. Tanaka's been at lower clubs, and it's big manager. It's a huge manager, even not only just for Leeds, just in general. He's world respected, isn't he? For his style and stuff. So it's as big as it gets, really. I can't believe we're discussing this, to be fair, because I'm envisaging, Bogle and just being just a total monster going forward. It just been
genuinely. You look at this squad and you think most of them would love it, wouldn't they? I think Solomon wouldn't be able to whack it. I'll be honest. I don't think he's. I don't know about Perot either. I think you've got to be very agile and quick. I think to be able to.
Well, he loved Bamford, didn't he? I mean, he really did.
See
Joseph,
from
yeah.
Bielsa. You've got a tune out of him. And Aronson, I mean, the running that the man was doing to Bielsa,
Yeah.
Brendan Aronson, bloody hell. But yeah, anyway, it's not a thing, is it? Unfortunately.
I'm going to say for another day, but
we're doing well. Is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, Locky, have you got out you want to shout about or out on your channel? I know you put videos up at tactics and scouting and stuff.
Not much recently, Jack. I'll be honest. Been a bit busy, but I'll be doing a video tomorrow on the build up to the game. Probably just discussing similar things we spoke about here and why he's made these decisions and who I think should come in, stuff like that. I did a video the other day. I actually can't remember what it's on. Oh, look, 1 second. Yeah. So it's about Meslier, but it was about the mindset of the team and where they might be at and how they need to. But you've seen, haven't you?
Watch it. It's brilliant. So
I've done that. I'll do one tomorrow at some point. But yeah, if people go watch it, I'd massively appreciate it.
Yeah, do go check it out, everybody. Locky Leeds. I think, to be fair, dude, everybody that'll be in here will probably watch your channel anyway. But it's worth, it's worth me saying it is. It's definitely worth checking out because he knows his onions. Is that the saying? Knows his onions.
I think so, is it? I don't know.
Well, I mean it in the nicest way possible. So even if knows
his onions. I don't know my onions. I know one onion.
No, I don't mind an onion. To be fair, I like them cooked, not raw.
Yeah, I mean, Shrek eats raw onions, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, my bird likes onions, man. She'll just not
really.
Like, yeah.
Like peel them.
No, I mean she doesn't eat them like an apple or all, but they don't have to be long in frying pan. Mine need to be like borderline, flopping about. Mine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way, in it.
Yeah, I know, but no, it turns out not. I've never experienced what I thought a salad was, which I think sort of like basically lettuce with bits on, but that's not what she thinks a salad is.
All right.
There's not a lot of lettuce goes into the salad.
Onions and
it's everything else. All the bits that I put on top is like the main part, but
interesting.
Again,
not a salad guy.
No, I like lettuce.
But
like what?
Veg I like broccoli. That's it.
Oh, you can't beat a bit of broccoli, man.
Love it. Seasoned broccoli.
And if you soak it in gravy, man, it really absorbs it all up, doesn't it? And it like bursts.
Yeah. Broccoli's elite veg.
You're not a cabbage man.
If my girlfriend cooks it, yeah, she does it. Unbelievable. Just to shout her out, she's an unbelievable cook.
Yeah,
honestly, it's world class. But I don't like veg. Honestly, I don't like veg because of this. And big up to my mum, but growing up on cheap boiled veg, you probably know that's like compared to my girlfriend who makes like all this like properly heavily seasoned veg. It's completely different.
From Bielsa to broccoli, Locky.
Yeah, that's like a book. It's like a book, that, isn't it? From Bielsa to broccoli.
Yeah. I couldn't go vegan. No.
I love chicken, man. No chance.
I can't have alt without meat.
Got to be there, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but we've definitely gone off on a tangent there, Locky. So, but thanks for coming on, dude. And I'm sure we'll catch up in real life. But I'm sure there'll be more videos or whatever if you're up for coming back on.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to everyone that watched.
I've enjoyed it. Different, more relaxed than Joe's chat.
Yeah, you can't get this.
Always big up Joe, but his chat's crazy sometimes.
Yeah, but I can't even read it, Locky. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it, man. No, really. I mean, I've struggled with this, to be fair, because when I interview, I've only done 3. I've done you, Luke, and Joe, and I really struggle to read comments. I want to listen to you. I don't want to be like, and then reading. I can't do the both. But it's on Joe's. It's when I'm talking. If I start like looking, I'm like, oh shit, and it just throws me right off. So I just can't even have them on there. Yeah, I don't. To be fair, it won't. It don't. The abuse don't bother me. I can take it like a trooper. I'm fine with it. But if I read it, I just think, what am I talking about? And my mind just goes off on a tangent. Because like people will comment saying, "Oh, I kept saying something in chat, for you to like get a smile or a reaction at you." Like, I can't read them, man. I don't even view them. They don't even pop up. So yeah, it's funny.
You need to get Andrea on.
Yeah, I'm hoping Andrea's on next. I'm going to try, and if I can get you all on a rotisserie, that'd be mint, because I don't want to do like, well, I'd just be happy for you four to sort of.
Honestly, mate, as long as my tooth's all right, I'll be all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Grim. Apologise for that last week, but
No, don't be after. It's all good.
was in agony, unfortunately.
There's no worse. No broccoli is going to save you from that, to be fair.
No, it's going to save you from this. A vile feeling is a toothache. Nothing worse, is there?
No.
Anyway. What a way to end.
Yeah, on that note, everybody knows what that is as well. So everybody knows that is the moment. The end, like it's the end. It feels like the end of everything when toothache strikes.
Thinking about it now, I dropped my tooth.
Yeah, I know. And it starts, it'll flare. It'll go like, "Are you talking about me, mate?" And it'll start working it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, nice one, Locky.
All right.
So take it easy, everybody, and I'm gonna go live later on as well, guys. I'm gonna just run downstairs and then I'll just chat some shit and whatever, have a beer or whatever with you. So take it easy, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon.
See you later, everyone.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.